Hello, first of all, sorry for saying it incorrectly, but I would like to talk today with you about EndymionTv video. He recorded 20 minutes where he's talking about ProZD, and after watching what I have to say, I advise you to go to his video because he's making a few very good points. How in the current state of voice acting and acting overall, companies are expecting you to be the person that you're voice acting or be the person that you're playing. So for example, in the movies, if you're heterosexual, you shouldn't be able to play a homosexual person. Yeah, so I'm not saying anything about the point of this video. My only issue is with the beginning of the video, many insults throughout, and the conclusion of this video. And two more things before we start. If you like this video, please leave a like, and also don't forget to watch the Endymion video to have a full picture and not only base the opinion on my video. And second thing, you can subscribe to my channel, it's free, and also ProZD, I don't know this guy, so I have like no emotional connection with him, I just saw him like 2 times on TikTok. But back to the video. My whole issue with this video of Endymion's is exactly this tweet. Because Endymion shows it like ProZD is against voice actors giving voice to the characters that don't look like them. Because here's what ProZD had to say. I got an audition for prominent cartoon where I was sent just the Asian character. Looking through the rest, I told my agent, hey, I'm happy to read for this, but can I read for some of these others? To which I was told all of these characters are drawn as white, so no. To add extra insult to injury, the character I got sent was labeled Middle Eastern, Southeast or Southeast Asian because you know, that's all the same, right? You can just lump them all into one. My agent told me that this is just how some major studios are doing things now. Naysayers will go, oh, don't you want authentic casting? If your entire main cast is all white and you have one token side character who can apparently just be any type of Asian ever, this is not a level playing field. This is not new. For another show recently with a large cast of characters, I was only sent the audition sites for the character who exclusively speaks Mandarin. I don't speak Mandarin. It's demoralizing, and as much as I loved voiceover, the future looks bleaker every day. And here is what Endymion said.
So, since ProZD said this publicly, a lot of change has since happened in the industry. People came to his defense and said, you know what, he's right. And because of his moronic take in, hindsight, a lot of people suddenly started to get recasted that once played roles that they looked nothing like. It was all veiled in the guise of diversity and inclusion. Oh boy, those words, which is just industry fancy talk for, we get to be selective now and annoying without any repercussion.
And here I really don't understand what about his take was moronic. Maybe I just read it incorrectly, because for me, ProZD was exactly complaining about the fact that if he speaks a good English and if his voice he can play a white person, then why he should be denied this opportunity to play a white person. It's the same if, for example, we are making dubbing in Poland. We don't have so many black actors, and for most of the time the black actor is usually portrayed by a white guy. So actually in his first tweet he is defending the fact that different kind of people can play different kind of roles. And yet later in the video, Endymion talks about white people getting fired just because they didn't look like the person they were voicing, and somehow he's able to blame it all on ProZD. Like later in his tweet, ProZD is complaining about characters being not diverse enough, so if you would want, you could blame him, for example, for now making characters that we know black or Asian, like they did with Velma in that one animated show where they made her look more like the person who was giving voiceover. But for the most of video, that's not the case. For the most of video you give examples exactly of white people losing job because the character that they were voicing was looking not like them. So exactly what ProZD was saying in his tweet. And if I understood him correctly, he would agree with you on that. And even later you mentioned the role of Christopher Judge as Kratos, which is exactly what ProZD was talking about. That he also wanted to get a role of a white person, and from his TikToks I remember that he is able to speak like a white person. But because of bad studio he didn't get one. And I would like to repeat it one more time. For me also it's a problem that people who played their role well for years, they are denied the opportunity because they don't look like the character. It's outrageous, but I think that we can all agree on that. And now we are getting to the end of the video where Endymion put an interview with ProZD. And here is his newer statement, so I will let you listen to that.
Being an Asian, actor, voice actor, not actor. Couple of things before we go. Everybody talks about diversity, and I'm not here to be too controversial or point fingers or anything like that. But speaking of diversity, and you now starting to venture out into live action acting. How do you feel about, I guess, you being, again, being Asian? Do you feel like your opportunities are limited? Or do you feel like more opportunities would be open to you if you were, a white male, being by what you've seen so far?
I definitely would have more opportunities if I were white, for sure. There's no doubt about that. But I think there have been changes in a positive way, and not just for Asians, but for all for different races, different genders. There have been steps, and it has been improving. I mean, even comparing now to let's say 5-10 years ago, it's definitely changed. Like I think studios are much more aware of, hey, we should cast authentically. So there have been some good steps. We still have a long way to go. And I'm just hoping that, as time goes on, more and more doors will open for diverse talent. And we still have a long way to go though. But
yeah,
I'm hopeful that, it'll continue to get better. As time goes.
And when I listened to it, I was like, he's kinda saying bullshit. But then I realized something. If you will take his tweet and then agree with everything that Endymion had to say, then it really paints him as asshole and nothing is defending him. But if you will agree with this how I presented this statement, then you can take this interview with the benefit of a doubt. Like now he's saying that companies are casting more authentically, and I think that it means that companies are just more often creating a people of color, people of different genders and so on. And that's why he's getting more opportunities. Not because, we fired all of the white people playing our characters. So also, depending how you read this first tweet, you have a different understanding of the ending interview. Either you can solidify a hate for this dude, or further believe that he didn't mean what internet wanted to prove to him. So if you have extra 20 minutes, you can go to Endymion video, watch it, and then let me know if you agree with this what he has to say, or this what I presented here. Because I really dislike when people are taking something you said, misunderstanding it, and then presenting it in a bad light. Unfortunately, I'm not able to make a video that will take 20 minutes, so if this much is enough, then it would be great. Comments are yours, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.